So they have a lot of names for what people consider to be most of these shooters. Whether you want to call them incels, introverts, out of many one people. They usually share the same characteristics, though they are different. They usually do share the same characteristics. Getting on specifically workplace shootings like warehouses and grocery stores and stuff like that. You got to put yourself in these people's shoes and think about the people who are actually doing these shootings. I've heard of stories of people just getting fired, and then obviously that's why they did that. That's the motive right there. I mean, come on, but that can put the icing on the cake with all the other personal problems that they're going through. But workplace environments. I heard that a lot of introverts are that way because they're once extroverts. They're once people who are outgoing. They're once people who talked with people, talked in groups of people, trusted people, had friends, had a lot of friends, and they've been betrayed far too many times. They've been in too many awkward situations where you feel as though you trust the person and they turn around and do something 100% untrustworthy. And that changed them as a person, that took a toll, that changed their life as a person. They become introverted. When you're at work, listen, it's bad enough that a lot of people don't want to go to their jobs. You work because you need the money to survive, to live, to pay your bills. You don't want to go to work. So when you have to go to work and you have to deal with these people, put on top of the job having its own complications and having its own troubles. So build that on top of your other person, because everyone have problems. You have people who have their personal problems. So it's just like a pot that's been left on the fire. Yeah, it's like a pot that's been left on the fire, that's been forgotten and left on the fire, and it's just boiling up. That pot is eventually going to overflow. Just like how these people snap. That's what I believe happened in most of these shooters today. It's like there's a lot of anger going around, man. There's a lot of anger going around ever since these people forced a new world that you are living in today. There's just been a lot of violence, man, a lot of anger. And that's because one of the main purposes of forcing the Great Reset, and also one of the biggest things that's happened in this spiritual warfare that's going on today, is that they're removing a heavenly spirit. I believe it could be in the clouds. Where else would it? I believe that it could be in the clouds. If it's in the clouds, that's not even the point. I'm sorry about that. I got a notification. So the point isn't where it is. The point is that they're fighting with a heavenly spirit, a heavenly power, and this spirit is deeper than words. I can't sit here and explain what's going on in a totally different realm, if you can call it that. I can't sit here and explain that to you guys. I could try, but I can't do it. So they're fighting with this heavenly godly spirit, and this heavenly godly spirit is for you. It's guiding you. It's guiding you, and it's making the good times the good times. I'm just make this right now. Silence is really not silence. Silence is not silence, because silence has a sound. Well, sometimes silence do have a sound. You ever sitting in silence and you hear it's like right now. I'm at the park, so I'm gonna be hearing crickets and cars and stuff like that. So this wouldn't be the best. This wouldn't really be the best place to do that. But like in the house or something like that, it's like sound but not sound. But getting back on topic, that's what makes the good times the good time, the good old days that people are saying that is gone. The era that once was here. Like, take for example the SoundCloud era. The SoundCloud era. I'm getting off specifically rap. The SoundCloud rap era. That era is dead. Did you guys see that interview where Trippie was saying that, you know, all the people from his era is pretty much dead? Almost all the people from his era is dead. He was really trying to send a message, but once again, the people aren't listening to the message. It goes in one ear and goes through the other. I got that from my mother. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? So the people aren't getting the message. They're not getting the message that, listen, you are not living in the same world. You know? So now, getting on the stuff that you see, like news stories being released, you notice that now the news is like more people watch the news once, and people is blaming on social media. Once again, people are going to try to, these are no good people. This is how you could tell someone is no good. These people, I'm gonna give you two examples. I'm talking fast because I don't want to forget. Climate change. These people will try to blame all these bizarre weather that's happening in places that they don't usually happen in. They'll try to blame it on climate change. You know what I mean? They'll try to blame that on climate change. Same way how they'll try to blame everything else that you see happening on new times that we're living in. You know, so, you know, getting on like the news stories that you see dropping. You know, they're gonna be trying to distract you. Expect distraction. You know? Which brings me to the most important. Which brings me to the real reason why I came out here and the video that I was going to make. I didn't even get into it yet. So, as a highly spiritual person, as a chosen one, a target individual, we all seen that on the news. You know, people are blaming social media. That's another example. It's like climate change. They're blaming social media on, you know, more and more people watching the news and stuff like that. Just stepped on something. Yeah, they're blaming that on social media. The rise in people watching news, when it's not. It's the Great Awakening that's causing so much people to watch the news. People never used to watch the news as much as now. It wasn't that much people watching the news, but that's not important. Moving on. They're gonna be throwing, you know, a lot of these stories at you. You know that they're suspicious. Like, take for an example. I'm gonna get on two real quick. The aliens in Miami thing. I'm not even gonna get deep down into that because, listen, when I see stories like that, I'm not gonna be that person. You know, this is what people who call, you know, people pay attention to what's going on behind closed doors. Conspiracy theorists. This is what they think. They think that, you know, a person like me is going to come on and say, oh, those are aliens. Those are aliens at the Miami Mall. Come on, you know, I seen that's not what I'm going to say. Even if it wasn't aliens, this is what I believe. Even if it wasn't aliens that was at that Miami Mall, even if it's not true, there is far too much suspicious and bizarre stories that have been dropping, and there's still something going on. There's still something, even if that wasn't aliens at them, there's still something going on. And they're dropping these stories and they're trolling. They work with these people. So enough said, people. Moving on. Well, I already made this video. So, listen. The only person I've watched that mentioned this topic is Soluminati. There's a global mass arrest operation. I know I said global mass arrest operation, but I'm going to still proceed to say this operation is going on worldwide, where they're targeting most of these elites. Mostly elites. Once people who worked as a group, a secret society. That should show you a sign of the times. There's some feud going on. There's something going. I don't know what it is. That's why I shouldn't even much be talking about it, because I don't know nothing. I don't even know why I'm talking about something I don't know about. So, like Robert Sylvester Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, Harvey Weinstein. I believe that if it didn't start there, it started somewhere around those times. And if not, that's what made me realize what was going on. This may sound like a conspiracy, but what I'm trying to tell you is that it's real. Along with just regular people, there's been an increase in arrests. The FBI haven't been playing around since the NWO came in. The FBI is not playing around. Guys, stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble, bro. These people are disgusting. The FBI is corrupt. Watch it. Be careful. Watch your steps. So, with Epstein now, he's another one that's part of this global mass arrest operation. As much as Epstein's story is interesting, you have to understand that what he did. You know, there's victims out there, and we're sitting here calling what they went through interesting. So I kind of feel a certain way when I say that his story is interesting, but please, that's not what I mean. You know, I can't stand the fact to know that happened to underage women, underage children. I hate the fact that it happened to underage children. So don't feel as though that's where I'm going with this. You know, but you know, Epstein, you know, his case is also part of this global mass arrest operation. But I want to save the best for last, so I'm going to get on Todd Chrisley real quick. So, obviously, Todd Chrisley was going through legal troubles while all this was happening. He said that he believes that the world is ending. This is going to go now. I believe that he said that because he knows that his arrest is part of the global mass arrest operation, which could somehow connect to end times. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. End times and rapture and all that. And but obviously, talking about people like Trump and that mention how he's the Antichrist. I'm not saying that I believe in those things. That's just a conspiracy that I heard, that Trump is the Antichrist. So Todd Chrisley believes that the world is ending. You have a lot of people that's clowning him. I'm not going to be one of those people that's clowning him saying, well, of course you believe that the world is ending because your world is ending because you're going to prison. I explained. You know when you're going to prison. You know when you're going to jail. You know when you're going to prison. You know. And he knew. So, obviously, you know, that's why. But still, don't let that distract you from the fact that he still knows what he knows. And he comes off as a highly spiritual person to me. He doesn't come off as a sellout, regardless of what he did. People sending warning shots all over, bro. Billionaires preparing for the end of the world. Leave the world behind. Billionaires preparing for the end of the world.